Welcome to my session using a virtual Bitmoji classroom to organize and engage your students. So my name is Katie Friedl, and if you would like my presentation or any of the things that I'm talking about today, you'll actually be able to find them on my website, kinderkidatheart.com. Then you're going to click blog and then scroll down to Googlepalooza. So I created a blog post just for that. And it'll actually link you to a bunch of different other blog posts giving step-by-step directions with pictures, because I'm a kindergarten teacher and I love pictures, of how to do all the things that I'm going to be teaching you about today. If you log into your Googlepalooza folder, it's going to show you this slide and this slide. And the awesome part about it is when you click it, it'll actually bring you straight to my website. Loading. And it'll show you exactly what to do. Of course, it's taking a while to load. Anyways, oh, there it goes. So here's what my website is going to look like. All the pictures will pop up, but you can literally scroll through and see all of the different things that I'm going to talk about with you today. Please, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them on the website or email me. I've been searching and going through my emails and blog posts, comments on my blog all day yesterday and the day before, trying to get back answering as quickly as I possibly can. So if you have any questions or clarifications you need, please make sure you reach out. I am more than willing to help. So my name is Miss Friedl, Katie, and I am a kindergarten teacher at Gillespie Tech Elementary School. I've been teaching for 12 years. This upcoming school year is my lucky number 13. So starting off really well. If you need to email me, you can press this email link and it'll bring you straight to my email. But I like to introduce myself to my students, and this is what I would show them as well. I'm going to be posting it on my class dojo, but I like to show them a picture of the real me and then a picture of my Bitmoji me. The awesome part about any of these things right here is I actually have them linked, and I'll show you how to do that. So my kids can actually go and press this little moose tube, and it'll bring them to my YouTube video. That's my favorite brain break. You can get me Starbucks. I'm just kidding, but I do have it linked with some of my favorite snacks. You can link to my Reading Eggs, which is one of my favorite reading apps, Gigi, and my favorite math app. And every day I tell my kids that we are going to have fun, so let's have some fun. All right, so there are a lot of virtual classroom options out there. So I wanted to first start with showing you all of the possibilities of what your virtual classroom could look like. I know that I'm a kindergarten teacher, and what works for me might not work, for a high school teacher or a Spanish teacher or anything like that. So I wanted to make sure that I showed you a range of options. And remember, the awesome part about creating a virtual classroom is you can literally make it your very own, however you want it to suit for you and your students. So that's why I thought virtual classrooms are super powerful. So here are some of the ones that I'm going to show you. When you do click on my presentation on my website, you'll be able to just click straight to the one that you want to look at. But for our purposes, we're actually just going to roll right through it. So our first one right here is a daily clickables. So I thought this was going to be an awesome one because it does have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So the kids have kind of a one classroom place where they can link to all the things they'll need for Monday and Tuesday, etc. So I thought this was really fun as kind of like a home screen to your Bitmoji classroom. Here's another one for those multiple classes. So she teaches 6th, 7th, and then 8th grade. So she used this as her agenda where they can then click off into their own. So she used this as her homepage for her classes as well. So I thought that was really interesting, especially for those middle school upper grades. That would be really great. This teacher did brain breaks or recess. So I know that our kids are going to have that time in the classroom, or sorry, at home in the e-learning, to have that lunch and recess time. But this was an awesome way for the teacher to keep all of her recess things together. And the awesome part about this then is when we do go back to in classroom, if your kids are ever in your classroom for indoor recess, if it's raining or if it's too cold, this is a great one to pull up and kind of let the kids manipulate on what they're going to do for indoor recess, a little bit more self-directed so that you can still kind of have some personal time. I don't know about you, but I'm in my classroom when they're in my classroom. Here is an art teacher, so I thought this was really awesome. So Mo Willems did a series of lunch doodling. So he is an author that teaches kids how to make some of his illustrations that he uses in his books. And so these are all the different episodes that he has. So they can literally just click on one of the numbers and it'll bring them to an episode of teaching them how to make one of Mo Willems' doodles. So I thought that was really cool. Here's another one where she created a room, and all of these actually link to a YouTube video that teaches the kids how to create that drawing all by themselves. So I thought that was a really cool option. This teacher, instead of creating a classroom, she actually ended up just creating a bulletin board. So she has all of kind of her important links and things that she'll need, the calendar even right here on her bulletin board. So it's a different option instead of creating a whole classroom. This one's really fun, a virtual math manipulative. So I teach kindergarten, obviously, and sometimes my kids won't have, dice at home or some of the counting bears or things that we would normally use inside of our classroom. So this is a great opportunity to teach kids about virtual math manipulatives. So she has a whole room that the kids can then just click on the dice and it'll actually link them to a website where they'll be able to manipulate dice. So they'll be able to pick how many dice they want, they'll be able to roll them and then use them in their math. Same things with the shapes and the tanagrams. They even have a calculator. They create their own graph. So all of these different things the kids can click on and actually bring them to virtual math manipulatives so they can still show their work in a very not really textile, but textile way. So I thought that was a really fun addition to a virtual classroom. Here's another one. I actually do this in my classroom too, but I thought this would be great, especially for those younger kids when you do the independent reading or read by yourself at home. So creating your own library. So you can do it themed if you want to have all the No David books or Mo Willems series or anything like that. So you can create your very own reading corner or library if you want to call it. But each one of these books is then linked to a YouTube video where the students can listen to the book being read and see the pictures, obviously, up close. So this is a really good option for those kids who might not necessarily have tons of options for books at home. I also do a single book in my virtual classroom, and I'll show you that later. But the book that I read aloud live on my session, I also post it on my classroom so the kids can click on it and be sent to a YouTube video. So if they've missed our live session, they can at least enjoy the read loud for the day. This one was really cool. So this teacher actually was able to go into her classroom and take a live picture of what her classroom really looks like. So she moved things around in her classroom so that it would mimic what a Bitmoji virtual classroom would look like. And then she used that picture that she took of her classroom as the background in her virtual classroom so that it might be an easier transition for the kids from being virtual to then in class, so they see what their actual classroom looks like. This would also be good if you're one of those teachers who wants to teach virtually but inside your classroom. This might be another good option for you, just to kind of keep it seamless, so that what the kids see behind you virtually, they will actually see in the classroom as well. But she added her Bitmoji right on top of it, just like you would any other virtual classroom. So this is another really fun option. So she actually embedded a video right into her classroom that the kids can watch right on her virtual classroom. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a little bit too. But then she has all of her other links right here as well. And of course, some hand sanitizer because we know we need it. So she added a few other really fun details in her room too. But this video part I thought was really a fun addition to your virtual classroom. So those are a lot of inspiration pieces on what your classroom could possibly look like. Now we're actually going to dive deep into how to create your virtual classroom. So I am going to go pretty quickly through this because there is a lot of information that I want to make sure that I give to you, and we only have an hour, but please feel free to visit my website. I very specifically go step by step on how to do all of these, and I added all of my pictures to it as well, so you'll get a little bit of a step and then a picture to show you where and what to click on, and a little bit of a step and more pictures. I'm a kindergarten teacher. I very much am a visual learner, so I've provided those visual cues for you too, and sometimes it's easier just to look at the pictures instead of reading the directions. I'm also that kind of person, so feel free to visit my website if you need something a little bit slower paced, or if I went over something and you forgot how to do it, please visit and ask any questions. All right, so these are some of the things that I'm going to teach you how to do. Let's get started. All right, so in order to make your virtual classroom, the very first thing you're going to do is open up a slide document. So a Google slide, and it's just a blank Google slide. And the first thing that you're going to do is add your background to it. So up on the top, you're going to click on background. There are two options that you can click on. So there's this color option. If you want just a solid or a gradient on your background, you can just select any color and just make it blue or pink or whatever you want. I highly suggest, though, if you want to make your classroom, your virtual classroom, look like a real classroom, go ahead and choose image instead. And then a screen like this will pop up. The important part that you want to search for is actually going to be this wall, floor, background. So it's going to give you those details of the wall and the floor. Wow, I totally messed that up. The wall and the floor. And so you see multiple options. Then I decided to choose this option. I don't know if you've noticed, I, in my classroom, do a lot of rainbows, so I really liked the kind of colorful floor that was presenting. So after you select which one, make sure you're on Google Image Search. After you select which one you want, then you're going to click this Insert button, and voila, your background, your background is now inserted on your slides. So this is the beginning of your classroom. That's the first step. And now we need to start adding furniture, the fun part. So in order to add furniture, it's actually just an image that you're adding, kind of like a picture, right? So you're going to go up here and click Insert, go down to Image, then you're going to go ahead and search the web. All right, so after you click the Search the Web button, a sidebar will pop up, and you can go ahead and search for whatever you'd like. I'm going to start with kind of my big things. So I searched for my smartboard and my rug first because those are kind of the big impact items in my classroom. So the important word that you want to make sure that you use when you're searching is this word transparent. That means that it's not going to have a weird background behind your image. So sometimes, you know, when you see images, it has that like checkered background, and you don't want that. You want to make sure that it's a transparent. But if you look, I'll be honest, the options for Smartboard are not amazing. I actually really didn't like any of these. So there's another way to search as well. So all I had to do was literally open up a new tab and search right on Google. Instead of in my Google slide, I'm just going to search the real Google. And I did the same exact thing, smartboard, and then I used that word transparent again. But of course, I picked one that has the background because I'm difficult like that. And I, of course, don't want this background. But there's a super simple way to get rid of the background. So the first thing you want to do is right click it, and you're actually going to download the image. I just download it straight to my desktop just so it's super easy to kind of find and manipulate it when you'll need it. So once you download it, you're going to go open up a new tab and go to this remove.bg. It is super amazing. So after you go to remove.bg, you're going to touch this upload image, and it's going to pop up as an option to put your picture that you want to take the background out of. So here's that interactive whiteboard that I had downloaded before, and I literally just dragged it from this bar onto my uploads. And then almost instantly, I now have an image that no longer has that checkered background. So I didn't have to do anything else other than just drag and drop it. And the computer wizards did everything for you, and it's magic, and it looks wonderful now. The other thing it's going to prompt you to do then is re-download it. So I do not change the name of the file. I just re-download it again. It's going to ask if I want to go over the other file. I always hit yes, only because I don't need the one that has the background anymore, so it doesn't matter. So I just go ahead and go right over it. So now I have this beautiful image that no longer has the background, and I'm going to add it. So I drag it from my desktop onto my virtual classroom, and now I have my beautiful smartboard screen on there. The awesome part about adding it is right now it's pretty big. It actually started off smaller, so I'm able to make it bigger or smaller. I can move it around my classroom. I can stick it in the corner if I want to. You really can manipulate it and put it anywhere you want within your virtual classroom. So that's one of the awesome options. Then once you're done kind of finding your first object, you're going to do the exact same thing for all of your other things. I do suggest starting with the big items and kind of going on top of all of them as you build your virtual classroom. So I did, however, start with the decorations because I found these and they were just so cute and I had to hang them. But anyway, so then I started with my carpet and my bookcase. I have a table. I found a cute chair. I even have my laptop because we're all virtual, so you know. I found my easel, and then of course my alphabet. I teach kindergarten, so obviously the alphabet is really important, and so that I thought kind of rounded out what I want my classroom to look like. I don't want it to be too much, only because I do have kindergartners and I want them to make sure that it does look pretty. However, we're still using it to kind of get where we need to go. And I'm going to show you how to add links and do all that fun things in just a little bit. But the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is actually add video. So that function where that video was right in there. So instead of having to link to a YouTube and it opening up a new web page for you, you can actually have the video that you need right inside your classroom. So we're going to insert again, but this time instead of inserting an image, we are actually going to insert a video. And then a screen like this will pop up. You kind of have two options when you are looking for your YouTube video you want to add into your classroom. So the first option is literally just to kind of search for in this bar what kind of video you're looking for. So mine was easy, Go Noodle Moose. My Moose Cha-Cha is actually my favorite Go Noodle video, and that it actually comes up as the first link option, which is super. So I was able to just click on that and go right away. But if you're looking for a specific book or a certain person reading that book or anything like that, you might have tons of options on YouTube if you want a certain book, but obviously there's many people who are reading them. So the easy way to do that then is go onto the YouTube, actually search for the exact one you want, and then just copy and paste that link from the top right in here. That way you'll get the exact video that you're looking for. So that's kind of the two ways to do your options. But once you find the video you want, you're going to go ahead and select it, and then select it at the bottom, and then it will magically pop up in your classroom. I did add this cute little frame around the outside just so that I didn't kind of have a floating video, just to kind of give it some purpose. But you do you, whatever you want to do. The awesome part about this is the kids can literally play the video right inside the classroom. So they can go right to it. And it starts right away, which is great. If you are looking to format your video, there is an awesome thing where you can pick where you start and you can pick where you end. So say you're looking at a science video and it's, I don't know, an hour long, but you only want your kids to view like a 5-minute portion of it. You can literally decide when you want that video clip to start and then when you want that video clip to end. That way they're not seeing the whole hour, they're only seeing that portion that you want them to see. So I thought that was an awesome addition to adding these videos straight into your classroom. You avoid sending them off to YouTube where they can get lost in the YouTube-ness of YouTube, but then you're also kind of being very specific in what portion of the clips you want them to watch. A couple of the other format options for videos that I thought were really helpful was this autoplay when presenting. If you click on that, the play button on your video will not come up. It means that as soon as the student clicks on to this slide, the video will automatically start playing. So I thought that was really good for maybe the little ones who might not be the best at manipulating things yet virtually. So I thought that would be awesome if they clicked to the slide and then it automatically starts. It gives them something right away to focus on instead of having to search around to find that play button. Then there's this mute audio version. So I thought this would be great for students who are watching a video and you're maybe doing a writing assignment and you want to do like a how-to video. So you have the video going that has no audio and the students have to write the how-to, or you can do like a creative writing assignment where there's this like whatever video happening and they have to make a writing based on what they see. So I thought that were a couple good options that you can use this mute audio feature for. All right, so adding links. So this is the fun part. So you'll notice that my arrow goes from being an arrow to being a touch guide. That means that my link is on here. So if my kids touch this Go Noodle thing, if you look down, I always want to touch it, but you can't see me touch it. If you look down on the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, you'll see that it says gonoodle.com, which means when I touch this link, that is where they're going to go. That gonoodle.com is where, when they touch it, it'll link them to the website for gonoodle.com. So in order to set that up where the kids can literally just touch a picture and then go to the site that you need them to go to, you're going to first click on the guy. So I'm adding a link to this little eggy guy. So I'm going to click on this little eggy guy. And then this is going to be important. We're going to use this multiple times today. It's going to be one of your new best friends, but Control K if you have like a Windows PC. Or I have a Mac, so I use Command K. So I'm going to touch this eggy guy, then I'm going to say Command K, and that's going to bring up this big link box. So this is the fun part because now you can literally put in whatever web address you want them to link to. So I want them to go to readingeggs.com. If I want to be more specific, I can do readingeggs.com/login if I want to bring them straight to that login. I know that like for this one down here, Dreambox, every school and every teacher has their very specific web address. So you can actually link it straight to your personal web address for Dreambox. That way your kids aren't having to put in the school code and then the class code and all those things. So you can literally just link it straight there, and it's a one touch and the kids are exactly where they need to be. So that's how specific you can get with these links. So I thought that was a really awesome way. So once you add your web address in there, I have done this multiple times, so please make sure you remember this part. You're going to hit apply. If you do not hit the apply button, if you just put readingeggs.com in and then you go and click over here because you're in a hurry doing something else, you are not going to have that web address linked to that picture. You're going to have to go back and do it again, and you'll think to yourself that you're crazy because you already did it, but you forgot to hit this apply button. So please make sure you hit apply. It's really important. And so once you hit apply, then you'll have your little eggy man, and so he turns from just being a point like my Gigi to being a clickable link now. It's pretty awesome and super easy. So that makes kind of all of my links right there. So I do these 4 are kind of my big 4 that I use in my classroom. So they're all right there sitting on my bookcase just for my class. So when we're ready to go to Reading Eggs or Gigi, my kids can literally just click right there. So adding your Bitmoji. So I know that adding a personal touch is really important to a lot of teachers, and this Bitmoji is the way that I put kind of myself in the learning, and it's super fun. So the way that you are going to add your Bitmoji is through Chrome Web Store. So you can either go to your Google Chrome web store, or like me, I never remember what the web store is called. So I always just Google Bitmoji extension or whatever extension that I want in Chrome, and it pops up. So you're going to look for this Bitmoji and then add to Chrome. So the awesome part about having Bitmojis, if you're like me, I had a Bitmoji already on my cell phone, so it was super easy because then all it asked me to do was log into my Bitmoji, and everything that was on my phone is now available on my computer. That way I don't have to like email or text myself the Bitmoji and then download it and then add it to my classroom. It'll all be right there in one click. So this makes it really easy. If you have not created a Bitmoji yet, when you add it to Chrome, it will ask you to create an account, and all you'll do is create your account. I don't necessarily suggest using your CPS email address. I use my personal. I just think, anyways. So it'll ask you to make your own, and then it'll take you step by step by step, adding your skin tone, your eye shape, your eye color, your hair length, your hairstyle, your clothes, and it'll step by step bring you through all of that to make your Bitmoji look as much like you as possible. The other cool thing about adding this extension to Chrome is that now you have the capabilities of adding it in your email. So yesterday I had a few issues with my microphone, and I've been trying to keep an eye on my microphone so you guys can hear me, but I was able to send the "is this mic on" Bitmoji to people who emailed me about my muted mic, apologizing. So that's just a fun way, even in email, to add a little personal touch. So after you add to Chrome, it's going to tell you, yay, Bitmoji has been added to Chrome. And then up in this top, it's now an extension, so it'll be right there on your web browser for an easy clickable So once you're ready, so you've logged into your Bitmoji, you've created your Bitmoji, and you're ready to add it to your classroom, you're just going to touch that Bitmoji icon from the upper right-hand corner of your web page, and then a screen like this will pop up. And the fun part about this is you can actually just search for whatever kind of Bitmoji you want. If you want a Bitmoji that's pointing, if you want a Bitmoji that has an elephant, if you want one that has a mustache, that's one of my favorites. Anything that you're searching for. Sometimes, though, things are a little finicky with the search bar. So say you want to find a Bitmoji that's just standing. You want a standing Bitmoji. If you search for standing, nothing will come up. I don't understand. But if you want a standing Bitmoji, you can search for the word pose, P-O-S-E, and it will show you lots of different options of your Bitmoji standing up, doing lots of things, just standing there, arms crossed, pointing at things, open arms. So they have lots of different options. So that's only the weird thing. If you want a sitting Bitmoji, you can literally just search sit, and you've come up with lots of different options. So sometimes if you can't find one that you want, change the words that you're using to search for it. Or you can literally just scroll through all of the Bitmojis that are popular right now, all of the ones that kind of say hey, that are lovey-likey ones, that are happy, that are meh, and ones that celebrate. So those clickable buttons down there will bring you to Bitmojis that are in those categories too. So the super easy way to get your Bitmoji from this little thing onto your classroom is you're literally just going to touch it, you'll right click it, it'll ask you to copy it. If you don't copy it, it will prompt you to copy it. Anytime you click on one, it'll say you need to copy it, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I have to copy it. So I just do Command C for copy, and then I'll go onto my classroom and add my cute Bitmoji with my paste. So the other really important, or I think it's important, is figuring out how to flip my Bitmoji. So here's my Bitmoji. It's pointing at my smartboard, but I actually want it to point at my easel, but I can't put it on this side of my easel because then it'll cover up my icons. So I want it over here, but I want it pointing at my easel. All you'll need to do is right-click your Bitmoji, and then you're going to pick Rotate and flip horizontally. It's that easy. And then all of a sudden now, my Bitmoji is pointing where I want it to point. You can make your Bitmoji as big or as little. You can move it around the room. You can have it flying if you wanted. I don't know. But you do you, however you want to fit your Bitmoji into your classroom. All right. So moving on, I, for a very long time, did not like Google Slides or Google Docs. I don't know about you, but I love fun fonts, obviously, from my fonts throughout my thing. And I just, Google Slides and Docs were not meeting my needs in that way, but I did find this amazing add-on that allows me to have some cute fonts again. So I'm going to share that really quick with you. In order to get this add-on, you're going to click up here where it says add-ons. It's kind of up by the file. So if I file, insert, and you go down a little bit and it says add-ons, right next to the help, obviously. After you click add-ons, you're going to click get add-ons. You're going to do this just the first time you need it. A screen like this will pop up, and I actually use this Extensis fonts. There are, not kidding, hundreds of different options of fonts within this add-on. So I found that it's really good. It's also pretty highly rated, and obviously 2 million people agree with me because they've downloaded it. So I thought this was a really good option. So once you get to this screen, it's going to ask you if you want to add it onto your slides or add it onto your docs. I will let you know that I've just downloaded or added it on to my slides. I use Google Docs for my lesson plan, so I don't really care if they're cute fonts or not. I do care if they're on slides, though. But just know if you download it just to slides, your fonts will not be on your docs. So you do have to add it on to both if you want it for both. Okay. So now you've added it on and it's good to go. In order to get to the Extensis font add-on, you're going to again press the add-on button, but this time it's going to pop up here as an add-on already. Yay! So once you press the Extensis font right here after you add it on, a screen like this will pop up on your right side again, and you can literally scroll through the hundreds of options of font. But they have everything from, you know, pretty block letters to this fancier kind, all the way down to like super scripty things. But you can actually search right here. Instead of looking at all the fonts, you can look at just the block fonts or just the script fonts, anything like that, and it'll kind of narrow your search for what you're specifically looking for. So that's a nice way instead of having to kind of go through all of your fonts. But the awesome part about that is once you decide to use the font, it will then add the font onto just the regular font scroll down menu. So it'll keep it for you because it knows that you've used it before, so you don't always have to go to this Extensis font edition. Pretty easy. All right, so here's me. I've added text box onto my smartboard screen. Yay. I've also added some text box onto my easel. I've adjusted, I tilted the font just a little bit on my easel just so it kind of looks like it's actually on my easel and not just awkwardly straight up and down. That's pretty easy to do, but you can change your font into lots of different options. Like, how cute is that? And then obviously script, if you're one of those teachers that are teaching handwriting, I obviously couldn't do that with my kindergartners. They would look at me like I'm crazy. But those are a lot of the different options that you can use with that Extensis font add-on. All right, so I'm sorry I'm going really fast through this. Okay, adding on Google assignments. So my students are kindergartners, and although I've assigned the Google assignment through the actual Google Classroom, sometimes it was trickier to try and navigate students and parents to get there. So I just added the assignment straight on to my slide, right onto my virtual classroom. That way the students didn't have to navigate so many steps in order to get the assignment that I needed them to get. So this is a super easy way. And then a lot of my parents just kind of took pictures of it and then sent it to me that way. And then I still graded it through the Google assignment Google Classroom portion of it, but it was just a different option. So if you're looking for adding your Google assignments, the first thing you're going to do is actually just go into a different Google slide or a different Google Doc and create your assignment. You're going to make whatever you want them to do or link whatever worksheet or web page or whatever you want them to do and create that in a separate Google slide or Google Doc. That's the important part, Google slide or Google Doc, or form, or whatever Google Suite product you want to use. So once you do that, in that document or in that slide, you're going to press the share button, okay? So most of us know how to do that. It's up in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to press share. Here's where it gets just a little tricky. So here it pops up, this big long one pops up, but right at the end it says get link. The important part that you want to make sure that it changes to is that it says change to anyone with the link. If you forget to do this, you are going to have 13, 60, 100 emails asking for access to that document that you are wanting them to do, the Google assignment. So please make sure that anyone with the link is able to see it. That way they're not waiting on you to approve. They can just click on it and go. Then you're going to want to copy the link and then go back to your virtual classroom, and I'm linking a math assignment. So I'm just using my cute little math emoji. I'm going to click on that math assignment, and just like before, we're going to do that Control K or Command K. I told you it was going to be your friend. And so this time, though, instead of linking a website like we did readingeggs.com last time, this time we're actually going to link it straight to that Google document. Now, if you want them to have access to the original document you created, you can literally just copy and paste and go. If you want them to have a copy of the document that you created, which most teachers do, right? We don't want them messing with our original. We want a copy so they can do it on their own. This portion right here is the important part. This says equal sharing. It literally will say that on any link that you want to share from your documents or from your slides. So what you need to do is erase this sharing part and literally write in copy. So instead of sharing it, you want to copy it. Be easy. After you change it to copy, then you're going to hit the apply button. Remember that stupid apply button. If you don't hit it, you'll be mad at yourself again. So hit the apply button, and then a link then, once you hover over your little emoji guy or your icon or your picture, whatever you're attaching it to, then will show you that it's attached. Oh, sorry. It'll show you that it's attached. So the kids, so you know that that's the assignment that's attached. And once the kids then see it, they'll click on that math emoji and it'll bring them straight to the assignment that you want them to have. Pretty easy. All right, so here is what my very primitive classroom looked like at the end of the school year last year. I was just dabbling in Bitmoji classrooms and literally just Googled classroom background, and this thing came up, and it had like a board already, it had an easel already, it had a bookcase already, but you can see that it's kind of fuzzy. But at this point in the school year, I didn't care. I was just having fun and wanting to play. So I chose this as my background. Now I know better on how to create a whole classroom, but this was just kind of my first version of my classroom. But I wanted to show you some of the links and things that I had. So we were on our ABC countdown for the end of the school year. We were at letter M, which means we only had 13 days left of school. So exciting. So they could click on this link and it'll actually bring them to a YouTube video where they could see an M&M experiment. Over here was how many we hatched baby chicks, so how many days for their baby chicks to hatch. If they clicked on me, it brought them to their reading assignment for the day. If they clicked on the math emoji, it brought them to their math assignment for the day. Here's that read aloud I was talking about. That'll bring them to a YouTube video of the read aloud being read if they missed it on our live chat. I still have my Eggie guy, my Dreambox guy, my Gigi guy, and then these were my objectives for the day. So I actually showed my students this classroom every morning, and we read what we were going to do for the day, just like we do in my morning meeting inside my classroom. I asked the students what we were doing today, and we were able to highlight. And then my kids were able to use this slide then to link to all the different things that we needed for the day. So it's super, super kindergarten friendly. So if my kindergarten kids can do it, probably everyone can. But this is what it originally looked like. So it could be as simple as this. So after you create your classroom, the important part is posting it, right? You want to have people have access to it. So there are two ways that I'm going to show you. There are multiple ways on how to post your Google Classroom. But I'm just going to show you the two kind of easier ways. So you're just going to press File, you're going to press Download, and you can download it as a PDF document, which means that all of the things that you've added onto there, the kids won't be able to move them, so they won't like move you to another part of the classroom or whatever. It keeps the picture the right way, but the links still work, which is great. So in the PDF document, you could still touch me and it would still bring you to the reading assignment. You could still press the math emoji and it would still bring you to math. So that's one way of doing it. The other way, which is the way that I prefer, is you're going to press File, and this time you're going to go all the way down here to the bottom. It's covered up, sorry. There we go. Publish to the web, so that yellow circle all the way at the bottom. And then a screen like this will pop up. It's going to ask you, do you want to publish? Yes, of course I want to publish. Are you sure you want to publish? Yes, I'm sure I want to publish. And then it's going to ask you to copy this link. So this is the link then you're going to share out to parents. You can email it, you can text it, you can post it up on Class Dojo, you can put it on your Google Classroom, you can do whatever you want with that link. And the awesome part about having it published to the web is that the students or parents always have the link, but you can still change. I don't know if you're like me, but I sometimes last minute are like, oh man, or I find an awesome video or book or something that I want to add. Instead of having to download the PDF again and then share the new PDF and then parents be like, oh wait, I thought I already had this one. This will automatically update. So whenever they're on that published website, if you change something in your Google slide, it will automatically update on that link. On that, basically, it's going to bring them to a web address. So it's instantaneous. So that part is super, super awesome. All right, so here it is. I gave them the link. There's the link up at the top. Again, here is my new classroom. Here's all my links still. Here's my read aloud, the number that we're learning about today, and then still my morning message. So this is beginning of the year. It looks a lot different than my end of the year, but obviously we build. So that's the awesome part. So if I change something like I actually put this link in and then added this book and this number afterwards with a link to something, a video. I didn't have to go and republish it. It just automatically does it. So that's the method I prefer, but you do you. So more ideas with Bitmojis, and I'm actually going to go a little bit faster because we don't have enough time. So here are the things that I'm going to talk about right now. And one of them is a Google banner, a Google Classroom banner. So up at the top of your Google Classroom, it has that kind of general banner. And if you want to make it a little bit more personalized, I just opened a Google slide and created it. I decorated it however I wanted to, but the important part about it is that you have to change the page setup because the header is more narrow and longer than the regular Google slide document. So you're going to go to custom 16.67 by 4.17 inches, and then you're going to hit apply. All right, so once you hit apply, your screen is going to look like that narrow, long portion, which is the exact measurements you're going to need for your Google header. That way, anything that you decorate on that slide will be involved or be seen when you add it to your banner. So if you want further step-by-step directions on how to do that, you can click here and it'll bring you to my website on step-by-step directions. All right, so you've created your banner and now you want to be able to put it up on your Google Classroom. So the first thing you're going to do is hit File, Download, and then you're going to download it as a JPEG this time because you want it as a picture. I'll be honest, I have a Mac, so I just use Screenshot. It's a little bit faster for me, but you can just download it as a JPEG, put it on your desktop. That way it's easy to drag and find. So here is the original banner up at the top of my Google Classroom. It's kind of a little boring, but I'm going to upload my photo. Then I'm going to drag and drop it or select it from my computer. Then I'm going to add to my theme. And so here it is, beautiful. However, you'll notice that it's kind of hard to see the words. So I had to go back into my Google Slides, rearrange how I was going to have it done. And now, like magic, I repurposed my polka dots and much better look. So just be careful when you upload it that you're checking for those things because the kids will need, obviously, access to the class code and things like that. All right, so I created a class app too. So every school year, I give my parents this awesome flip book, so they know kind of the school rules and procedures, what supplies they need, anything about field trips. So it's kind of a one-stop shop in a super easy way instead of having a big long letter that my parents may or may not read. This is kind of an easy way to do that. So because we're virtual this year, this might not, make sense. So I created a virtual flip book, and I called it my class app. So all of these, when you touch them, you can actually flip to that slide, and it will bring them right to it. So the awesome part about it is you can actually have it downloaded right to your background on your iTablet or phone, and they can touch it and it brings them right to the app on the tablet or the phone. And you can go ahead and play around, ask your teacher, go to the important links, go to Class Dojo, the Google Classroom, go back to the home, do all of those things right on their devices. So in order to do that, it's similar to making your classroom. So in order to create it, we're going to go to Class Apps. So the first thing that I did was actually designed my home page, that first #1 page. I created that and figured out what colors I wanted, did all that, kind of figured out what I want it to look like. And then from there, I literally just copied it 6 more times. And then I went back to #2 and I just deleted this top portion and then made it longer of orange. And then I added all of my text and Bitmoji picture. And then I went to #3 and I deleted this pink one and now the orange one and made it all yellow, and then added all of my things. So it was super, super easy to make it this way, but you can literally design it and make it however you want. But this was a really fun way for me to do it. Once you've created all of your slides that you want them to be able to flip to or go to, right, pages for them to go to, like a real app or a real website, you're gonna go ahead and make a box over the area you want to link so that when they touch, about your teacher, it will bring them to that page about your teacher. And so that's what we want, right? So you're going to click the shape button, shapes again. Mine, I'm obviously going to use a rectangle because that's the shape it is. But if you're using a circle or a star shape for the parents or students to click on, you're going to want to use that shape as your clickable link too. So once I pick my rectangle, I'm literally going to make it that whole portion of the box. So anywhere in that box that they click will take them to that Meet the Teacher portion. But we have a problem because now you can't see the words, and that's obviously counterintuitive. So you're going to make that box now transparent. So you're going to go ahead and click the outline, transparent, the fill, transparent, and this magic box goes from being colored in to now being transparent. Yay, now it's transparent. So you're going to want to go ahead and do that for all of your links. So you're going to make a box over each individual one, make each individual one transparent, and go from there. Now, after you make those boxes transparent, you're going to want to link your pages together. Magic, you're going to touch that invisible or transparent box that you created. Then these awesome Control K, Command K comes back, and you're going to link it again, but this time instead of linking it to a website or linking it to a Google Doc for assignment, you're going to link it to a slide in this presentation. And because my About the Teacher was page #2, I'm going to link it to slide #2. Now, I did this on a screenshot, and so it didn't slide all the way down, but you get it. I would go down to slide 2 and select slide 2. You're going to continue to link all of your pages. Make sure you click on everything and make sure all of the pages are linked to each other. Once that has happened, you are almost good to go. The problem then, though, is if you touch anywhere on your home screen, it's still just going to prompt them to the next screen. And it only does that because it's a regular PowerPoint. Anytime you touch it, it just prompts you to the next screen. And in order to stop that, in order to, like when you press Google Classroom all the way at the bottom, it to bring you to the Google Classroom, you need to do this next step. So you're going to hide all of your slides except for your home page. So on the right side where all the slides are going to be, you're going to right click them, then you're going to press the skip slide button. Once you press the skip slide button, it'll go ahead and do this eye with the slash across it. That means that it's hidden, so that the only way to get to that slide is if on your home page you pressed Google Classroom, then it would bring you to that page. That's the fun part. So you do that. And then once you link all of your pages and then you've hidden all of your pages except for your home page, you're going to go ahead back and publish it to the web. Same way that we did our Google Classroom file, publish to the web down here, publish. Are you sure you want to publish? Yes, I want to publish. Then you're going to copy that link. Same way, you copy the link, you send it off to parents, Class Dojo, email, text message, whatever way you want to get that link into parents and students' hands, please do so. If you want to check out my demo app that I created, you can go ahead and click here and go through my demo app just to check it out. There it is. All right, and then in order to get parents to be able to download the app onto their device, you're going to want to do the same thing. So you're going to go to your class app that you just created in the slides. You want to share it. Make sure that change to anyone with the link, just like we did before. Copy the link, or you can use that other link in the other, the one that I just showed you. Anyways, but make sure anyone with the link, that's the important part. If you're downloading it onto an iPhone, we're going to want to put it in Safari. Make sure it's Safari. Add the link. Press the share icon. Then you're going to add home screen. You can name it whatever kind of app you want. And then press the add button. And then magically it shows up on your home screen. Yay! It's very similar if you're an Android person. This time you're going to be able to put it in whatever browser you want. They're not as picky. Once you put it in your browser, you're going to add, touch these three dots. Then you're going to add it to your home screen. Click, figure out whatever you want to name it. Click the add button, and then again, magically on your home screen. Yay! And so it's easy for students and parents to get to it and be able to manipulate it. So we only have 3 minutes left of our actual numbers. I do have a bunch left. So I'm just going to keep going. I don't at all feel bad if you need to log off and go to a different session or a bathroom break, please do so. All of this is on my website. So if you do need anything, I know I've been talking really fast, I'm sorry. Step-by-step directions are on my website, so feel free to link. This is my promo video that I'm actually going to send on my Class Dojo so that kids are getting excited for the first day of school. This literally took me 10 minutes. I used iMovie Trailer. You can use it on an iPad or a Mac device. The hardest part for me was finding which Bitmojis I wanted to add. I thought there were so many cute ones. I put in a little kind of a movie where it's showing me and my Bitmoji getting ready for the first day of school. It shows you on my website exactly how to do it, picture step-by-step directions. This was a really fun way of doing this. I also thought this would be fun for maybe those older students to do book reviews. They can do it through iMovie Trailer or anything like that. I thought that was really fun. And mine literally lasted 56 seconds. But there's ones that last a little bit longer, like a 2-minute video. So they can pick whatever kind they want. Oh, and it shows you how to do it on my website. All right, so here's a class handbook. So this is just a different way to kind of make a class app. So it's a long way instead. So it's not going to be a phone device app, but just a class handbook that they can still link just like our class app. So when they touch Meet the Teachers, it will bring them to that page. It'll bring them to our schedule, our learning expectations, our parent info, our weekly assignments, our this link will bring them straight to my personal Google Classroom. They can email me straight from this link, or our Bright Work, which is an online bulletin board, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a little bit. But this is very similar. It's just a different setup with the longness instead of the app format. Oh, almost forgot to tell you, with the app format, I used just a regular 8 by 11.5 version. So you want it to be able to fit on your phone. So you want it the up and down version. So I changed the page settings for my class app. That way it fits that screen that way. You don't want it fitting this way. Obviously, it's not going to be as easy to see for parents on their phones and the devices. So make sure you do change your page setup to up and down. I'm sorry, I forgot that. I was trying to go fast. All right, here's another get to know you Bitmoji activity that I found. People are really excited about it. I thought this would be great for morning meetings. You can have some kids either search and find their own things. So you can teach them how to insert images, just like I taught you. You can teach your students how to do that and create their own locker classroom. Or you can have a bunch of different options on one slide, and they can literally copy and paste it onto their slide or into their locker too. I thought this would be great for morning meeting, because then you can have them share what their locker, why they chose the certain things that they did, and kind of have them introduce each other to each other virtually. So I thought that would be a fun way of doing kind of a get to know you activity. Here's a lot more different Bitmoji activities. It is 11:15. If you need to log out, please log out. Thank you so much for coming. All right, Bitmoji staff picture. So we realized that we did not have a staff picture this past school year, so we decided to make a school Bitmoji class picture, or school staff picture. So what I did is I actually just used a Google image of our building, and then had all of the teachers and staff members send me their little Bitmojis. And so I added their little Bitmojis then to our school, and then I added these numbers next to them and created a Google form, and we pushed it out on our school class dojo page, so that families and parents could then go on the Google form and make guesses on who they thought each of the teachers were. We thought that was a great way to do kind of that family involvement piece right at the end of the school year, to keep the involvement happening and keep people logged in and interested. So we did that, and it was really cute. People really enjoyed it. We got lots and lots of compliments, so that was really fun. I did a flat Stanley project, so you might be familiar with the book. I called them mini Miss Friedls because my students haven't read Flat Stanley, but I basically just did a Bitmoji on a document, just like a Word doc, and then printed them out, laminated them, cut them out, and then I sent them a letter. I sent a little envelope as well, so they could send me back something if they wanted to. And then look at this little one. She was actually the first one to receive her mini Miss Friedl, and we were logging out of a live lesson at the end of last year, and she hollered at me and then ran off the screen, and I thought she had gone a little crazy. And then she ran back on holding her mini Miss Friedl, and she was just so very excited. And then the rest of the kids started receiving theirs, and they were super duper excited. Look at that smile. She was super pumped. But then I actually provided a choice board of activities that my kids could do with their mini Miss Friedl. So here's one of my students baking with Miss Friedl. Here's one of my students sharing his snack with mini Miss Friedl. I even sent it to my niece, and she was doing science experiments with Aunt Katie. So that was a really fun way for my students to interact, because they were definitely missing me and missing our class. So this was a fun way to have them be able to have me with them, even if I wasn't with them. So they really enjoyed that. So here's I called it Adventures with Mini Miss Friedl. It's my choice board. It is available on my TPT for free, so please feel free. I just had someone, because I posted it as a PDF, and I had someone ask how can they add their Bitmojis since it's a PDF. So I'm fixing that. So if it will be up today in a PowerPoint format, so you can actually add your own Bitmojis and add your mini and then your name as well. But I'm fixing that. So if you log on to my TPT and it's still a PDF, just give me a few minutes and I will fix that up. Just so you can make it a little bit more personalized. And then I saw a virtual birthday room, which I thought was really fun. Here's just the months of the year, and what you can do is link it. So I'm just did January because obviously this was last school year. But here's my January. So every year I have the kids who have birthdays the same month take pictures together. So here is Kaylee and me, and we're both January birthdays. So here is them. And then I would put the dates of their birthdays too, so that the rest of our classroom can help us get ready to celebrate each one of our birthdays and get really excited about it. So I thought that was a fun thing to do. If you're an administrator or even a clerk or a clinician, instead of making a virtual classroom, this person, so Jenny Cook, and I have a link to her YouTube video, and she explains it and then gives you her her staff room for free, and then shows you how to add your own personal touches to it. So please link to my website to find that really easily. But this is a staff room, and I thought that this would be a fun way to get your like weekly what's happening kind of announcements rather than it just be a regular email. I thought this would be a fun way. With clickable links, you can add those of, you know, certain videos we have to watch or anything like that, especially for this upcoming week PD that we might be doing. But here's all kind of the things that are happening up ahead. So I thought this was a really fun way of doing kind of a staff room. A star student or star student work. So you can have, you know, your daily star student, or if you want to do weekly star student, but you can literally just keep this room the same and then have them click on to find out more about the star student. So I just did one for me, but I did favorite movie, brain break, favorite drinks, favorite snacks. I did a Bitmoji version of me. You can actually have kids draw a picture of themselves and add it, or you can have them create their own Bitmoji. I don't know if you want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I would just have them kind of draw a picture of themselves. So this is the cartoon version of me. I would have them draw the cartoon version of them and add that here as well. But you could do games, books, and then how old you are too, just to have kids kind of introduce themselves to each other. Here's the online bulletin board that I was talking about earlier. So you can literally leave this the way that it is, or you can add obviously more if you need more spaces for work. But if you want to have one for every kid. But here I just linked one of them, so you can click on it. Here's Josiah's. Here's his work that he was so proud of. I gave him a little whoop whoop message too, just telling him how much I like it. I thought that this would be a fun way. So Class Dojo now has a thing called Student Portfolio, where they can take pictures and upload it to share not only with their teacher, but also with their parent. But it doesn't allow them to share it with other students. So I thought this would be a fun way of having them select one of the pieces that they're most proud of, and then be able to link it to this digital bulletin board, and then share that bulletin board once a month, every other week, however often you want. Share that with then parents or students so they can kind of click around and see what their friends are doing. Because I know we do fun bulletin boards in our classrooms to share our work, but I thought virtually this would be a fun way of doing that, kind of building that community spirit, even virtually. This presentation was not at all done by myself. I honestly saw a million amazing ideas that other teachers had made, classrooms that they've created, and taken screenshots and added YouTube videos to things that people have already created. So by no means am I the expert on this, but I am pretty fluent. But one of the things that I have found so very helpful is Facebook pages. Teachers across the country and even worldwide are creating virtual classrooms and uploading them to Facebook for free. And so you literally can just, if you want like a Hogwarts themed classroom, you can go to any one of these Facebook pages and search for a Hogwarts classroom theme, and multiple things will pop up as options. And then you can just copy those slides and then make it your own by adding your own Bitmoji or rearranging things, adding your own links to it. So you're not having to recreate anything from brand new. You literally can find something that you already love and just make it your own, which makes things so much easier and faster. Also, I have found people have taken the time. So I teach kindergarten, and so I teach about the letters and sounds. And there have already been multiple teachers that have created a classroom for every letter of the alphabet. So that's 26 letters. And they've added links to multiple YouTube videos on different ways to say the letter A, write the letter A, write the uppercase letter A, form the letter A with your mouth, all of these different things. So now instead of me having to find all of these videos and find all of these links and then create a page for it, I can literally just copy theirs and then link it to mine. So my kids have that additional resource for when they're doing their asynchronous learning. Asynchronous learning. So please go to any of these Facebook pages. This one is the one I use the most, the Bitmoji Craze for Educators. There are so many people out there that are more than willing to share what they've already created. Please reach out if you have any questions or any comments. Thank you so very much. I'm sorry that we went 10 minutes over, but thank you. If you do want my presentation, please visit kinderkid@heart.com, click on blog, and then scroll down to Googlepalooza, and I literally have everything linked from below. So literally everything we've talked about. And then when you click on it, it'll actually bring you to the specific blog post about that specific thing. So then it goes, here's my promo video, and it literally shows you step by step on how to do each one of the things. So I've tried my very best to create something that's easy to follow along with. So I hope that really helps. I hope you found something in my presentation that inspires you and that you have a wonderful, wonderful school year. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.